All right, there we go. So let me share my screen with all of you. So, like I said, super excited to have you all here. I'm going to have the chat box open. And so if you guys want to make comments, I think Susie's already said hi in the chat box. So please feel free to add your BFOs as we go along. But also feel free to jump in. Let's talk. Let's be active together. So let's start. All right. So first thing, as we do in tradition, we kick off, we start, and we really want to see where are we going right now in your business. And I think this is just so extremely important. This is your opportunity to actually introduce yourself. And every one of these sessions we do that, you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your business and who you are and what you do. So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your business, what it is that you do, and let's really kickstart the session. So as you know, I will start because some of you is pretty new. This I always call this your 60 seconds of fame. So I will start. So as you all know, my name is Peter De Longer. I'm one of the owners of a business coaching firm called ActionCLUB. And I coach business owners, CEOs, and directors, and I teach you how to run, how to build your businesses, and how to grow your business. My mission in life is to impact the lives of 10,000 business owners, CEOs, and directors who are awake at 2 a.m. this morning, searching for a solution to their business problems. And that's about me. I mean, that's a little bit about me. I've got 3 grandkids. I'm married to Cheryl. I've got 2 children. Just come away from a great vacation. So just really excited to be here with you guys. So let's kick off. I mean, shall we start? Lucito, can I pick on you first? You're on mute.
Yes, Peter. It's fine. You can pick on me. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lucito Mtetwa. I am from a company called Dispersive Consulting. I am the partner and managing director of that company. And our mission is to help business owners across the world to receive high quality financial reports, experience business predictability, and then help them to grow their profit as well as cash flow. We are based in Midrand, Vona Valley, and then we function across through because we are mostly an online-based accounting firm. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you for that. I see Nolina is joining us.
I'll go next.
All right.
I'll go next.
Susie, give us a moment there. Yes, so Nolene has joined us. Welcome, Nolene. So Susie, yeah, over to you.
Hi, I'm Susie van der Merwe and I live in Leidenburg. And I'm a debt counselor, and my company's name is Kwacha Debt Counselors because obviously I love zebras, and I thought that zebra is black and white, so you are serving the whole country, not just, yeah, because my mission in life is to help people, to really help people, because there is so much trouble out there and everybody's struggling, and I want to do my best so that people get out of their debt and be able to just live and breathe and go to sleep without stress. I've got 2 grandchildren. My son's got a child and my daughter's got a child. And then I need to mention that Kirk Rish is my most favorite brother ever. So yes, I think that's all I need to say.
Excellent, thank you. Kirk, since Susie mentioned you, let's jump over to you.
Yes, I'm Kirk Rish. I'm a co-owner of a company called Blitztech. We focus on lightning and earthing industry. We a supply company as well as subcontractor installers to go and do installation work for us in the field. Like Susie mentioned, we are related. She's my sister. And yeah, just like you, Peter, I've just come back from a fantastic holiday. And I've been finding it difficult to get the wheels turning. What did you call it today? I forget the words you used, but yeah.
Post vacation fatigue.
Disorder.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Fatigue.
Yeah,
Post vacation fatigue. We'll
fatigue.
come back from holiday tired.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah. All right.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you, Kirk. Lungi, over to you. You're muted, Lungi. There we go.
Thanks, Peter. So I'm so happy to be here. I'm a co-founder of the company called Biz Evolution. Can you hear me? I see my network.
Yes, I can hear you.
unstable.
I can hear you
Okay.
perfectly.
Thanks, Peter. I'm a co-founder of a company called Biz Evolution. So me and my husband, we own the company. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it today, but he will join on the other sessions. So what we do, we're an accounting firm similar to Lucito's company. We provide accounting services, tax, payroll, as well as advisory services. So we are very passionate about startup companies. So our mission is to see them grow from being startups to medium to large companies. The company is 11 years now, but we only started working on it full-time 2 years ago. So I'm a mother of 3, and I am based in Pretoria, but our company, we service clients across the country. So we provide online services. So I'm very excited to be part of this family.
Thanks,
Peter.
Thank you, Lungi. And yes, we're excited to have you. Natasha, tell us about yourself.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Natasha Bird. I am the owner of Bird Visuals. So my company provides marketing, PR, and social media services to customers. So yeah, my passion is basically aesthetics. So I'm probably the first person that's signing up for an art show or, you know, anything to do with design, with architecture. So that's kind of my passion in life, and that's kind of what that same passion is what I usually look for in customers when I select them. You know, if you've got a doubt about your product, I'm probably not going to be the person to work with because I actually want to feel that energy. So yeah, I'm the creative head there. I've had the business since about 2011. And still operating, and yeah, newly married, and had a busy holiday. Wouldn't call it a holiday much. Spring cleaning is also apparently considered a holiday, but yeah, that's a bit more about me.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Nolene, over to you.
Good evening, everybody. Hi, Peter. My name is Nolene, and I'm from a company called Power Quality. We also do installations for lightning and earthing protection. We've been in the business for 37 years, and I'm the general manager for the company. So we're based in Germiston, but we look after a lot of the large mines and so forth in the Africa industry.
Excellent.
Yeah, and that's
Thank
about
you.
it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, welcome to all of you. I just want to put Nolene back on mute there. So yeah, let's kick off. So where's my mouse? There we go. So we must remember in today's session, the only failure is the failure to participate. You want to get 100% out of today's session. you need to put in 100%. Be present. Don't answer the cell phone. Don't look at your messages. Just be present right now and participate. Put your BFOs in the chat box, and you will get an opportunity to share your BFOs and share your biggest takeaways as we go through this session. So one of the reasons why we run these business education classes is because at the end of the day, if you give a person a fish, give them a fish, you feed them for a day. So what does that mean? That means if I do the work for you, it means you don't learn how to do it. And at the end of the day, we want you to be able to fish for yourself. We want to teach you to actually go out there, run your businesses, grow your businesses yourself, so that one day when I go away, you can continue on your own. The other thing that is extremely, extremely important is today we want to remove what we call the I know factor. And by now, most of you should be understanding of what this means is when we adopt the I know how to sell, or I know what to do, or I know how to do things, it closes us up. It closes us up for learning. It doesn't allow us to explore options outside our thinking. It's like your teenage son that says, oh, he knows how to drive a car. Mom, I know how to drive a car. You don't need to teach me how to drive a car, until he sits behind the steering wheel and you say, drive. And suddenly he can't. But because he thinks he knows how to drive a car, he's not willing to learn how to drive a car. And we want to replace that with, isn't that interesting? So if something is said here today, something controversial, something you don't agree about, gives you the opportunity to go away, think about it, and come back and have an educated discussion about it. And we must be willing to have some fun. And we've already had some fun here today with everyone sharing their stories and their holidays. So, we've got to have fun. You've got to celebrate the wins. Life and business is so stressful and so rough with COVID at the moment that we forget to have fun. And fun is just something we need to build into our being. And something that we can expect today is BFOs. And for those that are new, is what is a BFO? BFO is blinding flashes of the obvious. These are the things that just make sense. Just go out and do them. You don't need to analyze them. You don't even need to think about it. This is something that you already knew or know that you have to do, but you've forgotten. Which is something that somebody says that just triggers you and say, oh, we should go do that. Let's just target that. Let's just move on. Let's go do that. And we want to share, and I want you guys to share your BFOs as you go through today. So the agenda we're going to cover is basically upcoming events. January is great. We've got some great events coming over the next 3 months. Your vision for 2022, and for those of you who have already met, we've started talking about that. We're going to talk a little bit about goal setting. We're going to talk about, your B times do equals have, and I'm going to get into that. Your 10 by 10 marketing plan, and we're going to talk about your ideal target market. Who is your target market for 2022, and your team? What are you doing if you have a team, or you're thinking of getting a team? How do you manage that team and move forward? So really, really a full-packed session today. So a lot to get through. So when we just look at the events coming up is next week, Wednesday, I've got Cashflow Accelerator webinar. And actually, myself and Lucito are jointly doing the webinar. Lucito is going to be talking about the 7 levers of managing better cash flow within your business. So for those of you who haven't signed up and would like to sign up, you all should have got an email or invitation either via LinkedIn or via email. You would like to attend. It is on Wednesday at 10:30 till 12. But really a powerful session. This session will be recorded and will be shared with those who ask for it probably a week later, because it takes some time to do some editing. Growth Club is our 90-day business planning session. The first one for the year is 16th of February. This date might change, and I just want to have a look, but it might change to the 23rd, but I don't think so. I don't think so. We've got Action Coach Marketing coming out from Cape Town, and we're going to be looking at dream building, creating vision boards, really setting that continuously to set that foundation for a real phenomenal 2022. And then we've got BizX. Now, BizX, which is on the 31st of March and on the 1st of April, it's 2 consecutive days. BizX is a Business Excellence Forum. This is where it's being hosted actually by the UK this year. They are doing it live and online. And what we do here in South Africa is we stream live from the UK, and we spend 2 days learning from international speakers, international motivators. The agenda will come out in the next couple of weeks, so you will receive that. So really keep an eye out on it. It's all about, what is 2022 for you? What is your 2 times 2 times 2? And maybe as 2 times learning. BizX is probably the place you need to be if you want to 2 times your learning. I know it will be held in Pretoria this year, and it's going to be, I'm just trying to think, at the Citadel boardrooms out in Pretoria. So I will let you have more information. So super excited about these. So when we jump straight in and we think about setting your future, what is your future? And I know Kirk and I had a real great session today about it. And I've spoken to some of you. What is that end in mind? What is that be? Whenever you start setting your future, it always starts with what is that result? What is it that you see for yourself in the next 12 months? And I've been saying to all my clients at the moment, if we look at 2022, we've got all these 2s. We've got 3 2s in 2022. So what is your 2 times, 2 times, 2 times in yourself, your personal life, your business? And I've been talking to you guys about it. And I think a lot of you still need to refine that and really drill down and identify what it is. And it is all about 2 times. The days of battling, the days of being in a mindset of lack, the cash flow is a problem. And that's why we're doing the cash flow webinar. Stress, sales, I'm awake at 2 a.m. in the morning. It's the 2 times that's going to fix that. 2 times revenue, 2 times profit, 2 times increase in salary, 2 times quality of life, 2 times my size of my business. So you got to look at it, and obviously what we're going to build on today is we're going to then build on that in February's Growth Club to say, break it down. What needs to happen today, tomorrow, next week, next month, and as we go along all the way through to December again, to achieve that 2 times. And one of the things we need to understand is that your goals, they give you direction, they give you focus, they give you something to work towards. They give you momentum and they give you movement. And it's also, it changes you as a person, because you maybe need to become somebody different, somebody new. You need to become the better version of yourself, the 2 times you. What is that? But it gives you that motivation, that movement, that momentum. And as Kirk said, I titled this word, post-vacational fatigue. I feel, and talking to a lot of people over the last 2 weeks, especially this week and towards the end of last week, a lot of people are battling with what I call that post-vacation fatigue. Vacation, it's just getting that momentum going, getting that movement going. And the way we're going to do that is get clarity on your goals, get clarity on your direction, get clarity on your focus, so that you can get that excitement going. So when you set those goals, we always really need to remember it needs to be smart. They need to be specific. It needs to be measurable. It needs to be attainable. It needs to have a result. It needs to be a number associated to it, or a specific goal. One of my goals could be I want a new car, right? What is that? Well, that means I need 600,000 or 300,000 to buy the car. Right, then, so that's the result. Then it's, can you measure it? Is it attainable? You know, and it is a car, so it's specific. By when do you want that car? Now, I want it by June. Great, you've got yourself a time frame. Now, 2022, I believe, is a great opportunity for you to 2 times whatever it is you want. And if we're not seeing that by June, then we've really had a missed opportunity here. 2021 was the foundation, the survival, build the foundation, get the business to the point where we're surviving. So that is extremely, extremely important to understand that where is those goals? And when you've got those goals and those visions, you then know where you're going. So I'm just letting Herman has come in here. So Herman's still setting up his sound. So really think about it. And we've got to look at what we call is the formula for change. Because when we talk about maybe who do you have to be, what has to change within your business, it comes down to the formula for change. And I think Susie and I spoke about the formula for change yesterday is, and you're going to see this over and over and over again. And as you grow within the Action Coach system, so this formula is going to mean more things to you. Is, you know, the D is for your dissatisfaction. The V is your vision. The F is your first steps. And the R is the resistance to change. And you got to look at this and say, well, how dissatisfied am I with our current situation? Do I have a vision for the future? And what are my action plans? Because only with those 3 will I overcome a resistance to change. And I've seen this before with people where they come to me and they're very unhappy. They're very unhappy because they're not making enough money. They don't have a vision and they don't have an action. And when we start working on that vision and that action, then they suddenly say to me, oh, but Peter, I don't want to work any harder. And I'm sort of happy, but I'm not happy. So very important. And one of the things, and I just want to get my pen out here. Let's get a pen. There we go. I just want to get a pen out here. And the way to look at this formula is to actually say, write these in the capital letters. I am dissatisfied. I am very dissatisfied, but I don't have a vision. I've got a small vision and I don't have an action plan for the business. So therefore, my resistance to change is high. And you got to look at this and say, well, where am I? What needs to change for me and my business so that I can get the results I want? Because I want to have a big vision. I want to have an action plan, and therefore it will then give me a small resistance to change. And you'll find this, that even in your sales process, as you sell, and we're going to talk about selling a little bit later, is do you use this formula when selling to a client to say, well, how dissatisfied are they with their current situation? Are you showing them a solution for their dissatisfaction? And therefore, they will take action and buy from you. So very, very interesting when you think about it. And that comes back to you when you look at this formula and say, well, who do I have to become? I know what I want. I know I want 2 times my profit, 2 times my quality of life, 2 times my sales. So that's what I want. What do I have to do? And who do I have to be? I might need to be a better manager. So in other words, if I want to be or need to be a better manager in order to have what I want, what do I need to do? I need to learn. I need to learn how to be a better manager. We need to have better conversion in our business in order to get the right sales. So who do I have to be? I have to become a conversion expert. What do I need to do? I need to learn. I want to have double my customers. I want to 2 times my customers. Who do I have to be? I have to be a marketing expert and a sales expert. I need to be the person that drives the sales and marketing. What do I need to do? I need to learn how to do the sales and marketing. And whatever it is for you, this formula will change depending on what it is that you want. What is that result? What is that have that you want in your business going forward? And it comes down to your belief system. And this is the identity iceberg. You know, everything above the waterline is the small portion that we all see. This is the results. Everyone sees the results. Everyone sees the behavior. You see the decisions. You see the actions. But what drives our decisions, our actions, and our behavior is our skills, our beliefs, our values, and our identity. That is our environment that we're in. And you've got to look at this and say, well, what do I need to work on, let's say in the next 3 months, in terms of my environment? It might be my skills. It might be my beliefs. It might be my identity, because I feel inferior when I go talk to people. And I always say to people, when you pick up the phone and you're phoning a client, just remember, you are the owner, you are the CEO, you are the director. Your identity is that person. And do you believe that you are that person and have the right to talk to the same person and the same caliber person at another business? Do I have the skill set necessary to take this business and get the results I want? Because at the end of the day, our skills, our beliefs, our values, and our identity is what's going to allow us to make the right decisions. It's going to allow our behavior to show and act like we are the leader. And it's going to allow us to take the right actions and therefore get the right results. And this is a very, very powerful slide. In actual fact, the last 3 slides are actually gold when it comes to you as a person in your business, in terms of what do you need to change going forward in 2022. So one of the things I want to move on to right now is when we talk about this and we're talking about business, is sales, profit, sales, margin, and profit. Those are the 3 things we look at. Profit and margin is the main critical area that we measure. Sales has to come in order to achieve margin and in order to achieve profit. But those are the 3 critical measurements that we use within a business. And then it comes down to, who are your ideal clients? Who is giving you the right margin? Who is giving you the right profits? Who is buying at the right price? And it comes down to, you get 4 types of customers. You get the awesome customer. These are the guys that love you. They're the ones that go out, they tell everyone about you. They place orders on you. They never give you any shit. They just keep moving. They just keep moving on. Then you get the basic customers. These are the guys that buy relatively regular. Yeah, they're a little bit of a pain because they demand quite a bit of your service. But you know what? They're good to have. Then you get those that you can't deal with. This is the C-type customers. This is the customers that price is always an issue. They never order. They never order the volumes. They come once every 3 months, maybe once every 3 months, but they expect you to treat them as if they're an awesome customer. And then you get the dead ones. These are the guys that may have bought from you, or every now and then they come around. These are the guys that are constantly asking you for quotes, constantly complaining about price, always complaining about service, but they never buy from you. and you're constantly running around them, constantly trying to get them to buy. And in actual fact, what they're doing is they're wasting your time. So you need to get clear clarity on who your ideal client is for 2022. What does that ideal client look like? Now, Kirk and I spoke about it today, and we came up with some great ideas. And a number of you, I think Lucito, we spoke about it as well. Who is the ideal client? And I think right now you can understand ABC. You know exactly who your C client is. You know exactly who your A clients are. And the dead clients. And the dead clients you need to get rid of. The C clients, you need to upgrade them to basic clients. And this is where you need to educate them, train them on how your business works, train them on your products so that they buy from you, not just on price, but rather on who you are and what is your niche. So you need to get clarity going forward for 2022. So one of the things we look at, I'm going to get into this a little bit later, is the 5 ways. So as we grow your business, it's going to be the 5 ways that we look at in terms of whether you know how many customers you got, you know what your revenue is, you should know what your profit is, but there are still businesses that don't know what their profit is. And we need to start working on the other areas, which is leads, conversion, number of transactions, average rand sale, and profit margin, which is your GP. And I'm going to get into more detail with that a little bit later. Leverage is also something that you need to look at in terms of how can you do more for less? And leverage is done by people, systems, and you know, we've got 2 accountants here, so accounting firms, so they will understand. I've had clients where they got spreadsheets, man, they got Excel spreadsheets, they got income statement spreadsheets, they got their financials. It takes them seriously 8-9 hours a week to fill in all these spreadsheets of invoices, payments, purchases, because and it's just like a nightmare. And then suddenly they implement an accounting system and they're blown away. They come back to me and they say, Peter, I cannot believe it. You know, this accounting system only requires an hour of my time every single week. I'm saving 7 hours a week by implementing this accounting system and allowing me now to spend more time working on the business, driving sales, getting more profits, and focusing on the team. So you've got to look at it now. Leverage is systems. It could be quality checklists. It could be a spreadsheet. It could be depending. It just depends what it is for you. Maybe you have high returns. You know, you guys in the stores keep packing stuff wrong. What is the system that you can leverage so that you can free up time, offer a better service, offer a better quality, get a better consistency to your clients? So it's something to think about, and we're going to continually coach about that. So one of the things that's important as we go along and as we talk about business is, and we talk about clients and we talk about growth, is to say, do people know about you? Do people know what is available? Do people know what the benefits are by doing business with you? Do you help them decide what to buy? Do you make it easy for them to choose? And do you show them how they can buy from you? So I've had it before where clients have said to me, I've asked them the question, so I'm sitting in your store here, I'm looking at all your products, and do your customers know everything that you do? Some will say no. I had one person say to me, well, they should, they get a price list. Well, no, it doesn't work like that. You know, you need to go out there, you need to understand your clients, you need to tell them what is available, you need to show them what are the benefits of dealing with you versus the opposition. You need to help them solve their problem by showing them what to buy and what product offering you got that will solve their problem. You'll show them and teach them how to choose the right product for them, and eventually how to buy so that it's smooth and easy. And it comes down to just let people know what it is you're offering. So give you an example. This is a real great example. It was actually quite funny because I've been thinking of changing my network provider here, because I've been having trouble with a network, and I've been thinking of phoning a couple of fiber guys just to see what other options are available. And on my way back to the office this afternoon, I drive past 3 guys walking around with green shirts, and I know they're from Vox, and they're walking door to door talking about fiber. It's brilliant. Brilliant. Next thing, there's a knock on my gate. How can we speak to you? Yes, you can speak to me. You know why? Because I'm actually looking for a new internet service provider. So we discuss it. They give me some pricing and some options. They leave me their number. I mean, there's no way I'm going to sign a deal straight away. I mean, I'm going to first have a look at it to make sure that I get the best offer for me and what I need. But you know what? They arrived. They arrived at a time when I'm actually thinking of looking for another service provider. Now, I don't know how many houses this poor oak had to knock on before he actually got to me so that I could talk to him. And that comes down to, that's a marketing strategy. That's a marketing plan. You know, it's maybe one strategy to say, how many people are out there that need your services, that need what it is you offer, they need your products, but they actually don't know you exist. They don't know you exist. People out there that need marketing. There are people out there that need financial services. There are people out there who need lightning protection. How many of these people are looking for you, but they don't know you exist? And this comes down to you. What is your 10 by 10 marketing strategy? How many lines, fishing lines, do you have in the water at the moment to find that fish? So maybe you're using LinkedIn, maybe you're using Facebook if that's your target, or maybe you're using email marketing. Maybe you're doing cold calling. Maybe you're doing seminars, webinars, training. What is it? Now, I say don't go out there and implement 10 marketing strategies. You know, rather pick 5 and get those 5 working properly, and then we start to add. But this is your opportunity to look at what is your marketing strategy. Maybe I've got salespeople and they're going out there and they're visiting clients and visiting prospects. It's one strategy. Referrals is another strategy. When last did you ask your clients for a referral? So I've got salespeople, and my salespeople are going out there, but I don't do email marketing. So they go out and they visit 10 people a day. Out of those 10 people, maybe they got to see after 3 days, 1 person buys from them. So out of every 30 people, 1 person needed their service and offering right now. So 1 person buys from them. What do you do with the other 29? How are you staying connected with them? How are you keeping top of mind? How are you staying in communication so that when, like me, they suddenly have or thinking of a need, you're pop up on their desktop, or you pop up on their Facebook, or you pop up on their LinkedIn, or they get a call from you. And that's what is so powerful, is to say how many people, and I'm repeating myself, how many people out there need you right now, but do not know you exist. How many of your existing clients have a need for a product and service that you offer, but they do not know you offer it? So one of the things when talking to clients and doing sales and doing marketing, it comes down to this great word, which is called AIDA. AIDA is attention, interest, desire, and action. What are you doing to get people's attention? What are you doing if you're doing email marketing? What are you doing to get them to click and open your email? Once they read your email, they start to get interested. Next thing, they have a need, so they have a desire to talk to you and to take it to the next level, and then they take action. So even if this is cold calling or whatever it is, what do you do to get your attention? So, I mean, if you think about it, I was driving down the road. I was probably 2 blocks away from my house. Here come these oaks walking down the street with green shirts. What did they do? They got my attention. Straight away, they got my attention because I know fiver, green shirts, cool. I wonder if they're going to end up in my house. What does the guy do? He knocks on my door and he gets in. I get interested. I mean, the attention, he got my attention an hour before he arrived at my door. You know, did he get the desire for me to buy? Maybe, if the product offering is correct. And that's maybe where I need some work in terms of the right solution still needs to be defined for me. But they got my attention, they got my interest. You know, I have a desire to change my internet provider. I will take action. It's just now those 2 areas, desire needs to be fixed in terms of finding the right solution. So it comes down to when you're getting their attention, when you're getting their interest, and when you're getting their desire, it comes down to what is unique about you. What is your unique selling proposition? Why would I buy from this service provider versus another service provider? And then it comes down to the point of difference. What is different about you and about your business that I will buy from you? And let's say I will buy 10, maybe even 20% more expensive. I will spend 10 to 20% more with you by buying your product because you have the right unique selling proposition. So what is it? So when we have a look at your unique selling proposition, it has to be something truly unique. You know, it must make people excited. Your market must be excited when they hear from you. Something that gets people talking. And it must be something that can easily be copied so that you can repeat and repeat and repeat it so it's easy. So, you know, it is extremely important to think about what is your USP going forward, and maybe you are the USP. And what does that mean for you? What is your mission? So I mean, even your USP is probably even your mission. My mission, what makes me unique is that my mission in life is to impact the lives of 10,000 business owners, CEOs, and directors who were awake at 2 a.m. this morning searching for a solution to their business. I think I'm the only person alive that I know that has that mission statement. Is that unique? Yes. What else is unique? I am unique in terms of the way I coach and the way I treat people, plus the results that I get. So it's very important to look at it. Now I want to talk a little bit more about your customers, because it's one thing to get customers, it's another thing to get customers constantly coming back and buying more. And this is called ladder of loyalty. Excuse me. And this is extremely, extremely important. And when we look at the ladder of loyalty, it starts off with your marketing. It starts off with your suspect. This is not even a lead. This is a suspect. Suspect is somebody that you've identified within your target market that you believe they should be doing business with you. And then you go out and And that is who it is. So suspect is your target market and who they are. Then you go to prospect. Prospect is, you've now narrowed it down to say they're starting to narrow the funnel to these folks are engaging, they're opening emails, they're talking to you. These become prospects. And a prospect is where they start to take some form of action. They clicked on your email, they took your phone call, they registered for one of your training sessions, and that becomes a prospect. Then they become a shopper, and this is where they now buy something from you. So people buy from you when they know you, like you, and trust you. So people get to know you because they've been reading about you, they've been getting emails from you, you've been talking to them, they get to know you, they get to like you because you start to build a relationship with you. Then they need to trust you, and what they will do is they'll place an order on you. And this is where they become a shopper. And a shopper is somebody that buys something for the first time. And this is where you need to confirm their details. You need to capture their details. You need to make sure you've got everything from them. And then you get what we call a customer. A customer is somebody that buys a second time from you. So if you've got a shop, a hardware store, and I walk into your hardware store and I buy a roll of insulation tape, I am a shopper. If I come back a couple of days later, or a week later, I become a customer. And this is what we want, is we want repeat customers. You want people to constantly come back and keep buying and keep buying and keep buying, because it becomes what we call a lifetime value. Over the lifetime of them being a client, how much money have they spent with you? And as they buy more and they keep coming back, you become a member. And this is where they start to feel important. This is where they're becoming that A or that B type client, where you're starting to treat them special. You're trying to make them feel important. They get Christmas gifts from you. They get birthday wishes from you. And you start to make them feel like they belong. They're part of your organization. And then you move into what we call an advocate. And an advocate is a person that tells others about you. They share you on Facebook. They like you. They talk about you on their social medias. They talk about you with their other clients. This is an advocate. This is your A-type customers. They're really, really happy for you. And they love what you do for them. And it's going to be very hard for an opposition to take them away. And then you get a raving fan. And this is really a great client to have. A raving fan is a guy that's going to go out there and he's going to sell for you. He's going to really sell your business. He's going to sell your product because he's got such a belief system in you, and he sees so much value from dealing with you and your business that he doesn't only tell everyone, he actually sells. He brings them to your office. He shows them your product. He talks to them about you, which is extremely, extremely important. So one of the things we want to look at is, why do customers leave? You know, why do customers leave? And customers leave because there's what they call a perceived indifference. They feel that you don't care for them. But let's have a look at it. Do you know that only 1% of your customers leave due to death? 3% of your customers leave because they move house. 5% buy from a friend. 9% because the business was sold to a competitor, or they were sold by a competitor. 14% because of price and product. 68% of the people leave you because they feel you don't care enough about them. And yes, with COVID, probably these numbers have changed a bit, because I think price and product has probably gone up to 15, 16%, but still doesn't matter. Even if it's 20%, it actually still doesn't matter. But 60% of the customers leave you because of a perceived indifference, not because of price. And this is extremely important to understand. So what is selling? So we talk about selling, and we're going to really just highlight selling right now. Selling is professionally helping somebody to buy. So we do not want to get into a sales environment like a timeshare, holiday club, holiday points where people try to push you, insurance sales guys, they're on the phone all the time, cold calling you. They're not professionally trying to help you. They're just trying to make a sale. And they've got a number and they're moving through that number. But we want to professionally help people buy. Now, how do people make decisions? And this is extremely important to understand, that there are two ways that people make decisions. One is logic and one is emotion. And do you know that only 20% of the sales decision is made through logic? 80% of the sales decision is made in emotion. So I could say, well, I want to go out and buy a new car, and I'm going to buy a BMW, and I want to buy a BMW. Why BMW? Or because it makes me feel good, and I look good, and I've got a certain image. But yes, but that's the emotional side. But why do you want to buy? What's the logic side? Well, the logic side comes with the motor plan. It's German made. It's got high safety features. I know that for the next five years, I don't have to worry about services. That's the logic that backs up the emotion. That's the evidence that your mind's going to go out and find to back up the emotion. I want to say, I want to buy a Volvo. Now, if we think about Volvo, straight away, Volvo car, what is unique about Volvo? When we think about Volvo, everyone thinks safety. Volvo has pushed that safety. So I want a Volvo. I like a Volvo. It's great. It feels good. I really enjoy the ride. What is the logic side saying? Well, safety. I know my kids are safe. I know I'll be safe if there's an accident. That is the logic side. So when you're out there selling, you got to look at what are you selling. I'm buying from Kirk because Kirk treats me well. He serves me. He delivers. When I'm in shit, he delivers for me. He makes an effort for me. That's the emotional side. The logic side is, well, it's got good product, good quality, price is right. That's the logic side. So some of you may have seen this video, but I want to show it to you again. For a lot of you, this is new. It's called about selling this pen. And how do you sell the pen? And you must just excuse the language as we go along. I just want to see, is it going?
Go ahead. Sell me this pen. Today I'm going to teach you how to sell anything to anyone, anytime. Now,
sorry guys, I just want to stop share and reshare because I didn't share for audio. So just give me a moment. I just want to reshare. Okay, let's start.
go ahead. Sell me this pen. Today I'm going to teach you how to sell anything to anyone, anytime. Now,
When it comes to selling, when it comes to closing, there's so many techniques and so many ways. Today, I'm gonna share with you 3 powerful secrets that you can use to sell anything to anyone. The very first secret is this. How do you turn something that's a commodity? How do you sell a product? How do you sell a service in such a noisy marketplace? Number 1, understand this. People don't buy because of logic. People buy because of emotion and they justify it with logic. People buy based on emotions and they justify with logic. I want you to think of something that you want to buy in your life. It could be a car, it could be a house, it could be anything. Just I want you to picture that. Once you have that in your mind, I want you to ask yourself this question. Why do you want to buy it? Why do you want to buy that particular item? Why do you want to own that item? Why is that? Maybe it's a new suit, it looks good on you. Maybe it's a new dress. Maybe it's a new car. Maybe it's a new house. Maybe it's that vacation. But why do you buy it? I want you to dig a little bit deeper. If you peel through the layers, I think you'll realize you are buying emotions. Maybe you buy the item because of greed. You want to make money or you want to save money. Or maybe it's because of generosity, that by buying this item is going to help other people. Have you noticed sometimes even there are companies out there, if you buy this particular product, they're going to donate a certain amount to charities? Maybe you buy because of generosity. Maybe because of shame, that if I don't buy this, I'll look foolish. If I don't own this, I'll look foolish. Or maybe it's fear, that if I don't buy this, I'm going to be missing out. I don't want to miss out. Maybe it's an escape, that you go on the vacation, your 9-to-5 job is driving you fucking crazy, and you say, oh man, I need some time off. Maybe doing it, buying it because of escape. Whatever those reasons are, those are very often emotional reasons. So you buy because of emotion, and you justify with logic. So think about when you're selling something to somebody. Are you just talking about features and benefits? What this thing would do for you? Or are you pushing those emotional hot buttons? I remember one time I was in Harry Rosen, which is a very well-known kind of menswear store, high-end in Vancouver. I walked into the store and I was walking by the Tom Ford section. And the salesman approached me and said, sir, is there anything I can help you with? I said, no, I'm just browsing around. And he said, do me a favor. Put this suit on. Now, at the time, I've never owned a Tom Ford suit before. I have a lot of suits, but I don't have a Tom Ford suit. He said, do me a favor, put this on. I said, all right. I put it on. He said, how do you feel? Well, it feels pretty good. I said, okay, also try this on. Put on this tuxedo. I said, okay, that's pretty good. He said, oh, it looks great. He said, sir, are you a fan of James Bond? I was like, who isn't a fan of James Bond? Like, duh. He said, you see this suit right here, this tuxedo, is the exact suit, exact same design as James Bond wears in Casino Royale. You know the scene when he was gambling? He said, fuck, it looks good, right? And before you know it, I bought the damn fucking tuxedo, right? And it's a lot of money, costs a lot of money. And if you think about that, what am I buying? I'm buying emotions. What I'm buying is this. I'm buying when I wear this tuxedo, I feel good. As a James Bond fan, I feel like James Bond. Even logically, I know this, of course, it's not James Bond. I'm not James Bond. But emotionally, it takes me there. This is cool that I own, I wear the same tuxedo, the same fit, right? The same everything. And then he upsold me on the damn, like the shirt and the cufflink, the whole 9 yards, right? That's what I'm talking about. People buy because of emotions and they justify with logic. You have to understand that. Don't push your products, don't just push your services, don't push the features and benefits. Think about what are those emotional hot buttons that you're pushing. Number 2, people don't buy their way into something, they buy their way out of something. It means people very often, they're buying something because they have a problem they want solved. They want to buy their way out of that problem. People don't buy the drill, they want to hold on the wall. So what is it that you are helping them solve? What problem? What is it? What is that thing? You have to understand. So I always say the amount of money that you make is in direct proportion to how deep you understand your marketplace's pain. The amount of money you make is in direct proportion of how well, how deep you go, how much you understand your marketplace's pain. So you have to understand what it is, what are the pains that people have, and how can you help them relieve some of that pain. So think about that. Number 3, people don't buy products and services, they buy stories. Because when there are so many choices out there in the marketplace, on the internet, any product that you want, there are hundreds and hundreds of choices. How do you stand out? How do you add emotions to a commodity, a pen? What's the difference between a $2 pen like this or an $800 Mont Blanc John F. Kennedy limited edition exclusive pen? $800 pen. It's the same pen. It's the same functions. Story. When you add story to an item, suddenly when you add the John F. Kennedy, the president's story attached to a brand, to a logo, it is 10 times more valuable. It is 100 times more valuable. It is 300 times more valuable, that particular pen. All because the story, it writes the same. A $2 pen you can write too. That's the difference. So think about what's the story? How can you inject stories into everything that you do? Maybe it's an origin story. How did you get started? Why do you do what you do? What are also stories of your customers? I just launched a new YouTube channel. You can click on the link below. I'll put a link below in the description. You can check it out. It's the Dan Lok Global Community on YouTube. It has nothing to do with the program that I teach. It has everything to do with stories. It's stories from my students, what they have learned, their background, their stories. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with the program that I run. It has nothing to do with that but stories. It's other people's stories, other people's success stories. So where are you using stories in your marketing, in your business? How else can you use stories? Remember, facts tell, stories sell. Facts tell, stories sell. So comment below, tell me, based on these 3 secrets, how will you sell me this pen? Go ahead.
So it comes back to what we look at and we say, you know, what is emotion? What is logic? 80% emotion, 20% logic. Now, some of you might say, well, how do you trigger the emotion in your business? How do you actually identify that client's emotion and what is the problem that you solve? Because at the end of the day, you're all solving a problem and you're providing a solution. So people are going to buy from you because there's a problem that needs to be fixed. I need water pumped. I need to know my financials. I need to protect my goods from lightning. Whatever that is, how do you talk to the emotion in your sales process? How do you actually truly understand your clients and prospective clients' emotion? So when we have a look at this and we say, all right, so this is great. I mean, this is everything. Now, how do we do that? Now, I want to show you another video, and then it's just a short video about McDonald's. How, if you think about McDonald's, how would McDonald's trigger or create an advert that is affecting you emotionally, that will want you to go out and make you buy McDonald's or just feel great about McDonald's? We all know McDonald's. We all know shit burgers. We know no matter what country you go in, you get the same shit burger. It is cheap. You know the level of service. You know the level of quality. But what is that emotion that you buy? So I'm going to share with you this video now on a McDonald's advert.
Hi, can I have a strong skim latte?
Hello? Sir?
Strong skim latte, please.
Sorry, could you repeat that, please? Sir? did you say strong skim latte?
Yeah, medium, please. Sugar, thanks. Thanks. Thank you so much.
The cafe. We're coffee people.
So you think about that, and you think about, well, what is that emotion in your business? How can you utilize that emotion in your business to go forward? And you know, if someone like McDonald's can trigger an emotional response from that advert from you, you know, how can you in your business talk to the emotion of your clients and your prospective clients? So extremely important to think about that. And that is why people buy, because you're solving that solution. So what I want to do right now is I want to jump in. We spoke earlier on about the 5 proven strategies of growing your business. So I want to jump into that, and I'm just going to share my screen again so that you can have a look and we can jump into this, and you can see that this is the formula for success when it comes to driving sales. We know what your customer, you know how many customers you got, you know what your revenue is, you know what your profits are. So number of leads is your marketing. This is that 10 by 10 marketing strategy. Your conversion rate is your sales process. That is, once someone's put up their hand and says, yes, I want to talk to you, they enter with the sales, what I call a conversion process. Then they become a customer. Then you'll start looking at the number of transactions to see, how do they buy again? How do they buy more often? What do you need to do to get them coming back and back and back again? And then we look at the average rand sale to say, well, how much are they buying and how can you get them to buy more? Then we know what our revenue is, we know what our margin is, but we need to see what to measure our margin so we can see how to fix it. So when we have a look at margin, and we can say, great, I've got these great marketing strategies, and this month or this week, I got 4,000 leads. So I'm going to use a hardware store as an example. So this week we had 4,000 people walk through the door of my hardware store. Out of those 4,000 people, 25 people bought. So that meant 1,000 customers bought from me. Those customers come back at least twice a month, and they buy from me, and they spend on average 100 Rand a time with me, which means I get a revenue. Let's call it for the month. I have a revenue for the month of 200,000. I know I'm making a GP of 25%, so therefore my profit is 50,000 Rand. Now I want to go out and I want to grow my business. And I want to say, well, let's just increase each of these sections by 10%. So I've improved my marketing strategy. I've added another one, or I've fine-tuned the ones I've got. So therefore, I've got an extra 400 people coming through the door. Maybe I did a flyer drop. Maybe I've got a guy standing on the pavement with a sign and a pink hard hat saying hardware store, hardware store, hardware store, whatever it is. But it brought in additional 400 people. Maybe it's an email campaign that you're running. So I've now trained my staff on my floor to really try and understand what people are looking for. You know, just like a person is not looking for a drill, he wants a hole in a wall. So I've now trained them to identify and talk to people and identify what their needs are and where they're going from here. Okay, so Lungi said she's got to leave. Thank you, Lungi. I understand you did say you have to leave early. So yeah, I mean, and that's exactly it. So, you know, they're now selling more. So you increased your conversion from 25% to 27.5%, which means you got this month an extra 210 customers. So now what you're also doing is because you're offering a better service, you're making customers feel important, maybe you're giving them a keyring as they leave, they come back more often because they got to know you, they get to like you, and they trust you. So now they come back 2.2 times a month. And what you've done now, I also taught your staff on the factory floor that if a person is looking for paint, then you need to ask him, do you need thinners? Do you need a roller? Do you need a roller tray? Do you need a brush? Do you need masking tape? All of these other things that go with the paint that he needs. When he gets to the counter, the lady at the counter asks him, do you need insulation tape? Do you need super glue? So what happens is the client now buys more. Now, we did this exercise with one of my clients, and most of you have probably heard this story before, where we sold super glue. Super glue is 40 Rand in this hardware store, and Builder's Warehouse, I can get the same bottle for 20 Rand. But at the counter, the lady says, do you need a bottle of super glue? And you know what? You always need super glue. You've never got it home. It's always, when you do need it, it's hard or you just don't have it. So guess what? You buy it. The fact that you're paying 20 Rand more for that super glue is immaterial because you wouldn't have bought it, but you always need it. Same with insulation tape. Do you need insulation tape? Yes, I do, because we never got enough insulation tape at home. You're always looking for insulation tape. So in this particular hardware store, they never sold that much insulation tape in their life as they did when they started their strategy. So now what they do is they're getting the customers to spend 10 Rand more every time they come into the store. So now suddenly their revenue jumps from 200,000 to 292,000, additional 92,000 Rands worth of revenue for the month. Now we know that we also need to make more money. So we're also training our staff to not give discounts, to maybe give a price increase, but also identify the right product at the right price for the client. And therefore, we're suddenly making an extra 2.5%, which is actually 10% of 25, more margin. And suddenly our profit for the month goes from 50,000 to 80,000. So suddenly making 30,000 Rand more profit just by tweaking each of these areas by 10%. Now we can do the same thing and say, well, what would happen if we doubled your turnover? Doubled the number of leads, doubled our conversion, doubled our number of customers, doubled the number of times they come back, doubled the average Rand that they spend. If you're able to double everything within your business in this model, suddenly your profit goes from 50,000 to 1.6 million. Now, I mean, the chances of achieving this is extremely, extremely low, but it just gives you an example of how powerful this system is. You know, is that really possible in my business? And it comes down to these 5 ways. And you need to look at these 5 ways and understand the 5 ways. So earlier on, we spoke about leverage. And one of the things that we talk about leverage comes down to people. You know, a winning team is what you need within your business in terms of freeing up your time and allowing you more opportunities to work within the business. And this is where you have the right people on the bus. And there are 7 keys to a winning team. And it starts off with you as the leader. Are you a strong leader? Do you set the pace? Do you set the example? Or are you a person that says, don't do what I do, do what I say? So if you're not submitting your reports and your salespeople are not submitting those reports to you, you know, do you really have the right to complain and come down on them because you yourself are not congruent, not leading the way? So strong leadership is very important. Your staff and your team need to buy into your goals. So as you build your goals, your staff and your team need to buy in those goals so that they understand what they're working towards. Rules of the game are extremely important when it comes to staff. You need to fill in these forms. You start work at 8 o'clock. You stop work at 4 o'clock. Rules of the game. So, I mean, an example that I've used over and over and over again is that receptionist. That receptionist that comes in, she comes 10 minutes late this week. On Wednesday, she came 10 minutes late. You don't say anything. She came 10 minutes. It's fine. Next week, Wednesday, she comes 10 minutes late again. Oh, okay. Is there a problem here? I see we lost Nolene for a moment. Okay. Is that now becoming a problem? Next thing, she comes late on Tuesday. Then she starts coming late Tuesday and Thursday. Then she starts coming 10 minutes late every day. By this stage, your staff are getting irritated. You're getting pissed off. She walks into your office, knocks over your favorite coffee cup and breaks it, and you fly off the handle and you strip yourself from here to next Christmas and maybe you chase her home. But you didn't apply the rules of the game. You didn't communicate the rules of the game, and you didn't implement the rules of the game. You didn't hold her accountable for the day she came late, or the second day she came late, or the third day she came late. But now you want to freak out and be in a state of stress and anxiety because your team are not following the rules of the game because you're not applying it. Secondly, your team needs an action plan. They need to know what is the marketing strategy, what is the sales plan, what is the systems, how do you go? Secondly, we need to support risk-taking. You've got to give your staff some leeway. You know, nobody can do the job as well as you can in your business. Nobody. But I can guarantee you your staff can do it 80%. 80%, they can do it 80%. So you need to support some risk-taking, and that's where you've got to be 100% involvement and inclusion with your staff. You need to train and educate. So ongoing training is extremely, extremely important when it comes to your business and your staff. If you want your staff to up their game, they need to be part of the sub-training, ongoing support. They've got to be held accountable for the rules of the game. They have to have the common goals. They've got to have an action plan. But you, of all people, need to be the strong leader. And then one of the things we need to always understand is fear. Fear is a real challenge that holds people back. Fear of success. Fear of what if this works. Fear of what if they don't like me. Fear of what if they put the phone down in my ear. You know, and fear is a false emotion or a false expectation that appears real, and you need to overcome it. So whatever you fear the most right now, do it. If you're scared of cold calling and that triggers you, go out and do it. If your fear is to stand up and talk in front of people, go out and do it. What is that fear right now? And challenge it and take it. Time is something we must always remember. Time is your most valuable asset. You cannot, time is gone. I mean, we've spent the last almost hour and a half on this session today. Time has gone. It has moved on. It is gone. So where you investing your time going forward is extremely important. Are you investing it in doing, or are you investing it on the business? Are you working in the business, or are you working on the business? And maybe your 2 times for this next couple of months is to be more working on the business than in the business. So it gives you something to think about. So when we have a look at your homework, because this brings us towards the end of the session, is your homework going forward for this month is, what is your vision? Relook at your ideal customer. What is your marketing strategy? What needs to change in order to achieve your vision? Is your USP correct, and does that need to be modified? Because it constantly needs to be relooked at. Who is your target market? And your target market comes in line with your ideal client customer. What are your 5 ways numbers? And obviously, just like myself, one of my strategies to grow my business is referrals, and I want you guys to send me some referrals. So this pretty much brings us to the end of today's session. So I want to go around and just get some feedback from you guys to say, what is your biggest takeaway from today's session? So Nalene, yeah, Nalene, you are there. Nalene, what is your biggest takeaway from today's session? You are on mute.
Yeah, sorry. Peter, I think the best thing that I've picked up is obviously making sure that you've set goals for your business and what is your way forward for the business for the year. So what is your set plans? I also liked the part, sorry, I just want to go through my notes. About the identifying the iceberg. That for me was quite interesting, and it's something that I can use going forward. And you know, what am I going to look at to see what does the customer see of my business, and what am I showing?
Excellent, thank you, Lucita.
Thank you, Peter. I think one of the biggest of my takeaways is when you spoke about the iceberg, particularly the belief system. I think in the past, last half of last year and the beginning of this year, one of the things that I have discovered is that belief systems can be changed. Whereas I think before I joined Action Coach, I always learned about belief systems, but not realizing that belief systems can actually be changed. You're not stuck on the belief systems that you have right now. And I think if you remember, there's a day where I just finally got it and send you a WhatsApp to say, if I don't believe on my service, it's going to be very hard to sell it to the next person, because if it doesn't resonate with me in the highest belief, how much value my service or our service or products give to the people, and I don't believe in that, so everything else then suddenly is going to collapse, because you cannot demonstrate that belief or that value to the next person if you don't believe in yourself and believe in your service. And I think the other one is leverage. Leveraging is very important, both internally as well as externally, when you're providing the service for, in our case, for our clients. We really get into a point where we help the business owners to leverage on as much as possible. But also, it's very important when you look at the 7 keys to a winning team. Ongoing training, it involves a lot of teaching the team on how to leverage on a lot of systems that can benefit the company and improve the product here or the service here.
Excellent, thank you for that. Natasha?
So mine is definitely establishing like emotional connection with the customers. Purely, for example, I think we get so stuck in thinking that, this is my product, I just need to speak product, I just need to do product all the time. Whereas we forget so easily to establish that emotional connection, to reassure the customer that this is not purely just product. There needs to be something more. There needs to be meat to the bone. So I think the biggest take for me on this was, adding a story and creating a little bit more about your business instead of just handing them the bone and expecting them to enjoy the feast.
Excellent, man. Excellent. Susie?
feel exactly the same way. When you started talking about
Susie, we can't.
emotions,
Okay, there we go. We couldn't hear you, so start again.
sorry, Natasha, I feel exactly the same way. Peter, when you started talking about the logic and the emotion in the video about the pen, I got so excited because I know what we've been doing the last 2 years is completely wrong. We've just been giving the logic and we haven't actually asked the person, where does he want to be in 5 years' time? And we need to make them feel so special that we mustn't hand out 150 pamphlets. We should rather speak to just 10 people and get a client than hand out 150 pamphlets and you know you're not going to get anybody. And I am so excited about teaching my staff, my two people, and I mean, like I'm very small. I've just started 2 years busy with this. So yes, that is my biggest excitement of how to teach my staff to work with the clients. And yes, make them feel good, that emotion that they feel, geez, I want this now because I want to go on holiday after 5 years. I want to buy a car after 5 years. It's not just I'm helping you now, you know, pay your debt and you get less interest and the way it's been going. And obviously it's not been working. So something new has to be done. And tonight was awesome because now I know what it is.
Excellent.
Peter.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Kirk?
So, Nolene, if I can use you an example, I think, Peter, I know I've done this before, but there's one thing I did wrong this week, and that's just because I got tied down with other things. I want to go back to the ladder, and how do I get Nolene from just being a suspect or a prospect to become an advocate for me? She asked me for a quote earlier the weekend. I just didn't get around to it because I got so involved with so many other things and moving my business from one location to the other location. And so I'm using Nolene as an example. I think we sometimes forget that we need to look after the customer first before we look after what we need, what we're busy with. And sometimes what we're busy with is a lot of, let's call it business noise, that we forget to put the customers first. And your ladder just re-triggered that. I know I've done this a year ago with you, and it comes up in all the training. And then of course goes back to the 7 keys of winning team. Is I've got my assistant working with me, and it's just time that I bring her into training so that when I'm tied down with something and I have someone like Nolene asking me for a quote, I can actually just say, Helen, here, can you quickly send Nolene a quote? And that solves the problem. I'm sure Nolene has forgotten about me because I haven't come back to her. And it just triggered that again. That ladder just triggered that. Sometimes we forget, without the customer, we don't have a business.
Yeah, and I hope Nolene doesn't mind you using her as an example. But I mean, yeah, I mean, great. I actually
Not at all.
I just want to I just want to do something. Yes, I you know, and I just want to take this opportunity because I think I just need to talk about this for a moment more. And one of the things I just want to share my screen is when we come to the 5 ways formula that I've shared with you guys before, is if you think about what happened between Nolene and Kirk right now, and we look at number of leads and conversion rate, Nolene put her hand up and said, Kirk, I want a quote. That is a lead. So that goes into your lead system. Kurt, who is now responsible for the conversion rate, completely screwed it up. So Nolene didn't become a customer. I mean, that's just a perfect example.
100%. 100%.
No, I'm picking on you, Kirk, but that's exactly what happened. How many things like that are happening in your business where it is actually like you're trying to catch these leads with your fingers open. It's like trying to catch water. Yes, you're going to get some, but how much is slipping through the fingers because you're getting so bogged down by the noise of your business? So it's just interesting that you say that. So thank you for sharing that, Kirk. I appreciate it. And thank you to Nalene for allowing you to use that as an example. And I think this is a great learning for everyone is yeah, are you trying to catch those leads with your fingers open? What is your sales process? So for me, one thing that struck me today is, even though I present these, and I mean, I do this once a year, so I only come around to this presentation in January once a year. So even for me, sometimes I learn things from myself by teaching you guys. And one of the things that I found quite interesting, and that, sell me that pen. I've watched that video. If it's been 10 times, it's been more. And the biggest takeaway for me from today's session is that the amount of money you make is directly proportional to how well you understand your customer's pain or your customer's dissatisfaction. So, and that brings us back to that formula for change, which we spoke about earlier on. And I just want to repeat that, because to me, I think that triggers for everyone. The amount of money you make is directly proportional to how well you understand your customer's pain. And what is the solution that you're offering? So, I mean, really, that stood out for me. And then I think it'll probably resonate with all of you. So, guys, that brings us to the end of today's session. Really great. I think I really love this January presentation, because it just really kickstarts everyone in the right direction. So, and I think Lucita has probably been through this presentation twice. This is probably his third time, and Kirk's is the second time going through this particular presentation. So welcome. And it just, like I said, just reinforces as you grow and as you learn. So these things just mean so much more to you. So guys, go out there. Thank you for a great session. Have a great evening. Yeah, I just look forward. If you want to chat, I will be on for another 5 minutes, but you guys are welcome to jump off. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Peter.
All right.
Okay, bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Peter. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Natasha. You take care.